Mr. Roemer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to first of all thank and also commend particularly the agents from Phoenix and Minneapolis. As we look back on the horrors of September 11th, we find that going back to Minneapolis and Phoenix, there were in fact field agents out there that found clues that could have brought more attention to these matters, that pieced together important ingredients and evidence in the case that may significantly help us down the line. So I want to thank you for your hard work and your successful work in some ways. Given your experience in the field, given your assessment of the threat, given your knowledge of where al-Qaeda may operate successfully in this country, first of all, the Phoenix agent, how likely is it that we're going to be hit again? And when do you think that may take place?
Well, this would be purely speculative.
That's all
on
I'm
my part.
asking.
You know, I believe that, first of all, the watershed event for the international terrorism community took place on February 26, 1993. And I wish we had these type of hearings back then to address that threat, because I believe that that was the first page of a new chapter in American history. I believe that the enemy is here, is ingrained in our communities, and is willing to strike again. I couldn't tell you when. I believe that we are making some headway and having some success with disrupting his activities in the country, as is evidenced, which took place a couple days ago in Buffalo and elsewhere around the country. But to give you a time frame,
Scale of 1 to 10, Phoenix agent, how likely do you think a hit from some of these terrorist groups might be? 10 being very likely.
I would say it would be low right now. I would say 1, because of our offensive efforts post 9/11.
That's in country or from outside?
I can only speak for inside the country. That's my opinion.
Minneapolis agent.
Sir, I'm unfortunately not prepared to answer your question because circumstances concerning my assignment have changed significantly since my involvement in this case. I don't have current information or access to the current information because of my present assignment, and for me to speculate would be completely out of scope.
I appreciate your honesty, and again, I appreciate the hard work that you did prior to this. Coming back to the Phoenix agent, I want to say that from our testimony from Eleanor Hill, she quotes a New York FBI personnel who found your Phoenix memo, quote, speculative but not necessarily significant, unquote. I, on the opposite hand, find it significant because it was speculative. You almost laid out the case for a strategic analyst that piecing together different threat assessments and different clues coming in, that this might well happen at some point in the future, but that it could be happening in other places in the country. We're told that 5 intelligence research specialists, strategic analysts, were transferred from the analytical unit to the operational unit. And in the opinion of one interviewee in the strategic analytical capability of the FBI against al-Qaeda, that it was gutted, quote unquote. Do you have any comment on the state of the strategic analysts prior to 9/11?
I don't have any information concerning what took place at headquarters in terms of the downsizing and transferring of people, but as I testified earlier, we in the field, I in particular, I can speak to myself, saw a decreased amount of analytical material that came out of headquarters that could assist somebody like myself in Arizona.
I hope that we're dealing with that, both from a training and a resource capability now, looking into the future as well, too. Finally, FBI headquarters agent, you said in response to a question from Mr. Kramer that your name was on the Phoenix memo to headquarters, but you did not recall seeing it. Is that correct?
That's accurate. I do not believe I ever saw that communication. In fact, I think your investigators that this committee has investigated this matter has confirmed that the best they could.
I'm not so much going to try to grill you on whether or not you recall seeing it, not reading it, or passing it on. What you said afterwards concerns me about the system a little bit more. You said that you still do not see some things with your name on it. Sometimes that could amount into the hundreds of memos or documents going through FBI headquarters.
That doesn't...
So if there is another Phoenix-type memo coming through, you may not see it. And maybe there are 3 or 4 other names on that memo, but I want to be reassured that 3 or 4 of those people, including you, would see it this time and be able to act on it. Are we going to fix the system so that those 4 or 5 names or 6 names in this instance, how many were on it, that they are seeing it, reading it, and responding to the field offices?
That's a fix that comes with technology and resources.
So it's not fixed.
It is not fixed. Nor to say, though, and I think this has to be clear, is that nor do I need to see everything on it. I can't, as an individual, I cannot possibly see and consume every piece of paper. Unfortunately, there's a culture in the FBI where names go on attention lines. That's not necessarily necessary. I think it needs to be focused on program responsibilities or cases and field division responsibilities. Just because of my position, they tend to put my name on that communication. I myself do not necessarily need to see it, nor could I possibly take on all of those pieces of communication with my name on it.
I would just hope they'd take your name off it, and the people that would have their name on it would be reading it and responding to it.